This is Scott with Earth News. I'm in Santa Barbara in a creek bed here, Stevens Creek. Today we're going to talk about gasoline and global warming. Every time we burn a gallon of gas, it turns into 20 pounds of CO2. It's kind of a weird phenomenon, but the weight of that gasoline triples to over 20 pounds every gallon. If your tank of gas is 10 gallons, you're burning 200 pounds of CO2 every time you burn a tank of gas. If it's 15, it's 300 pounds. 20 gallons, you're 400 pounds. Those emissions add up and they change the climate. We have billions of people burning gasoline every day. It's changing the composition of our atmosphere, catching that heat from the sun and capturing it. That's what global warming is about. The sun puts out an enormous amount of energy. It's usually reflected out into space. That CO2 puts a quilt on top of us and we stay hot and hotter and hottest. Americans average 50 gallons of gasoline every month. That's 1,000 pounds of CO2 every month that the average person is emitting. If you're in a fuel efficient car or don't drive much, then you cut below that. You drive a big truck, you're probably emitting a ton of emissions every month. Multiply that by a year and you get 24,000 pounds or 12 tons a year. The average American emits 6 tons of emissions just from gasoline. So every time you fill that tank, it's a lot of emissions. People worry about charging their electric cars, but there's a boom in electric charging stations in America right now. 16,000 were deployed in 2024. Trump's trying to stop it so people stay on fossil fuels. Walmart is going to deploy electric charging stations in every store nationwide. It's a huge upgrade to the network. Charging stations are coming, so you're not going to have to worry about that. We need to convert to electricity to get off fossil fuels. When we're using gasoline, those emissions go into the air and they stay there for hundreds of years. When your grandma drove back in the 1950s, that CO2 is still in the air, making it hotter because that sun is coming down and getting trapped from that CO2 and the CO2 of your fathers and your mothers and your brothers. That CO2 just keeps building up. Refining crude oil, transporting it, drilling, processing of petroleum is very fossil fuel intensive. It adds from 3 to 5 pounds of emissions per gallon of gasoline. So that 20 pounds could be up to 25 pounds if you include the processing fee. Go electric and reduce those 6 tons of emissions each year. And you don't have to just buy an electric car, walk some, telecommute, give a phone call versus meeting someone. Rural people who drive more, first you can get a more fuel efficient car or get an electric, get a F-150 Lightning. This is a planetary, a global issue with people driving around the world. Whether you live in the city or on a farm, you need to cut your emissions. The government's not going to stop it. The fossil fuel industry has the Democrats in their pocket too. Production boomed during the Biden years and Obama years especially. We need to switch to renewable, and Biden actually did start the Inflation Reduction Act to get us to solar. It's been successful, but Trump just cut it out. So it's up to individuals now to act at your local and state levels. This isn't a country thing or a city thing. Everybody's affected by climate change. We need to find ways to reduce. Drive less, walk more, telecommute. There's all kinds of ways to reduce your emissions.